dietsandreview.com, and with me today is Dr. Sanford Siegal. He is the face and the name behind Dr. Siegal's Cookie Diet. How are you this morning, Dr. Siegal?
I'm just fine, Brandy.
Great. Well, you're actually joining us live from your bakery in Florida.
Absolutely. I'm right in the middle of a working bakery at the moment.
And you actually still, rumor is you still visit the bakery and make cookies yourself, right?
Well, to a certain extent, I make cookies myself. Yes, I do get into the swing of things here, but mainly I supervise what goes on here to make sure that my formula is just as I want it to be.
Got it. And you have been making these cookies for about 30 years. Has the formula changed much, or do you kind of have something that works and you stick with it?
Well, we actually have two versions of Dr. Siegal's Cookie Diet. Of course, you can find all about it on cookiediet.com, but essentially what we have is our classic cookie, and that's the one you referred to, which is about 35 years old. And there is also our new version, which is our 10X cookie, and there's a little bit different method to using the two cookies, but they both work very, very effectively. And we have, in fact, right behind me are two versions of our cookie. This is the 10X cookie, and this is our classic cookie.
Got it. So I know the 10X cookie line just recently launched late spring, early summer. What brought about that change, and what can people expect that might be a little bit different?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last thing you said, Brandy.
I was just asking, what can people expect that would be different in that formula than the original cookie?
Well, there's a little different theory involved in the two versions of the cookie. Our classic cookie is meant to prevent hunger. Hunger is what wrecks diets, and my thing has always been we must control hunger in our patients and our clients. The classic cookie is meant to be eaten 6 times a day. So what you do is you eat 6 cookies a day, and you eat a meal, a single meal. With the 10X formula, it's quite different. You eat 9 cookies a day, and therefore the idea is to prevent hunger from occurring. The difference, stop hunger or prevent hunger. And the 10X cookie is to prevent hunger. You eat 9 of them a day, and you eat them at specific times, at 2-hour intervals. And the idea is, of course, if you eat this hunger-suppressing product at 2-hour intervals, you'll never be hungry.
Right. So I'm probably not the first person to ask you this, but it kind of sounds and lends itself to sounding like a fad diet. Is that the case, or is there something more sustainable there?
Well, I hear that all the time, that, cookies for dieting, it does sound like a fad. But this is a fad that's been around for 35 years. So it's probably the longest running fad in history. But no, it is not a fad. It has been used in my medical practice on thousands, in fact, 500,000 patients before we started counting. And there have been hundreds of doctors who have used our product across the United States. We now have clients all over the world who are using the product. We've been featured on the cover of major magazines like People magazine, newspapers, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times. It's hardly a fad. This is a 35-year-old established method, a proven method.
Perfect. The diet itself is fairly low in calories, right? It's about 1,000 calories a day. Is that correct?
Yes. For the general public, we advise 1,000 to 1,200 calories a day. And again, the way that's accomplished is with a combination of cookies, either of the two varieties, either the classic or the 10X. With the classic cookie, you eat 6 cookies a day. With the 10X version, you eat 9 cookies a day. And with both versions, you get to eat 1 very nice meal.
And if you need ideas for that meal, you've actually got a cookbook right there, the Cookie Doctor Cookbook, and there's some great recipes in there.
Oh, absolutely. The Cookie Diet Cookbook tells you what to eat for that single meal. There's no question that's asked more of me than what should I eat for that meal? And of course, I tell you very clearly in our book, we have beautiful dishes.
What's your favorite recipe out of that book?
You know, I don't have a favorite. I worked so hard on these. They're all my favorites, to be very honest with you. The interesting thing, though, all these recipes in this book are not the same number of calories. There are 100-calorie dishes, there are 200-calorie, 300-calorie, and so forth, and so on. And you can mix and match. You can combine them. For example, if you want to eat 400 calories a day, you could eat 2 different 200-calorie meals.
Got it. So help me understand exactly how the cookies work, because I was looking at the label, and the first ingredient is sugar, and your body tends to burn through that pretty quickly. And then there's also less than a gram of fiber in a serving of the cookies, and the fiber is usually what fills you up and helps you, not feel hungry. So what's in the cookies that's helping us avoid those hunger pangs?
All right. Well, neither one of the items you mentioned is responsible for the hunger suppression. The hunger suppression comes from the particular mixture of proteins that are in the cookie. And both cookies have what we call a very desirable amino acid spectrum. Amino acids are the basic structures of proteins. And many, many years ago, when I was writing a book on the subject of foods that are hunger suppressing, it occurred to me that why not put this into a product that would be hunger suppressing, and that's how the cookie was born. And as I said, that was approximately 35 years ago. But it is the mixture of proteins that's responsible for the hunger suppression.
Okay, got it. I did also like how low in sodium they are. I think the most sodium is about 200 milligrams, which for a packaged food is pretty low. How do you manage to keep the sodium count down?
Well, it's not a difficult process to keep the sodium low. It's simply there is the most minimal amount of salt in the cookie, and that's the major source of the sodium. So no, that hasn't been a problem. Besides, nobody wants salty cookies anyway.
No, not at all. Well, I will say that oftentimes you get a packaged food and the ingredients label, you need a chemistry degree to read it, and that's not the case on your package. Can you still hear me?
I didn't hear that last thing you said.
It looks like they're trying to mix up some cookies back there.
Yeah, there's a pretty active bunch behind me here.
Well, Dr. Siegal, you are in your 80s, and it seems like you're still incredibly active in the brand and the entire process. What keeps you going?
Well, it's fun. I don't know if you can tell by my expression, but I really enjoy what I'm doing. This supervising the bakery, making sure quality control is where it goes, and then hearing the reports of people who have lost immense amounts of weight. That is very, very gratifying, because that's been my thing ever since I got out of school. So that's what keeps me going.
Perfect. Well, Dr. Siegal, it was really nice to meet you today, and thanks for telling us a little bit more about Dr. Siegal's cookie diet.
Well, if you want to know more about it, cookiediet.com is where you'll find the information. And we have extensive information on cookiediet.com. There are some very interesting calculators where you can do some nice things about finding out how many calories you need a day, and it helps you determine what your goal weight might be. So more information is on cookiediet.com.
Got it. We'll let everyone know. Thanks, Dr. Siegal.
Thank you very much.